Screw the Dodgers.
There we go.
The Dodgers.
Anthony's Painting LLC.
The Mariners being in first any time is just like
Like Washington?
Yeah.
Canada.
Washington.
Canada.
Washington.
Yeah. You got it.
Last 10 games are against the Rangers and the Astros. So
Oh gosh, that's our season. That's our season, right? That's our season.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
You guys have a fantasy football league going on in the clubhouse?
Oh, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty competitive.
Is it sweet?
It's pretty good. It's sweet, but like it's good stuff.
That tastes like cinnamon toast.
It's pretty good. Well, it's now that time. The final 10-game stretch of the season is upon us. If you're a Mariners fan, we've had this circled on our calendars for a while now. We have 3 games at the Rangers, 3 games at home against the Astros, and then 4 games at home against the Rangers to finish it off. And if you've been following the playoff race at all, you know that things are very tight. Only 4 teams in baseball have clinched a playoff spot. Currently, the Baltimore Orioles, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Atlanta Braves, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are the only teams that have clinched a playoff spot so far. Looking at the current standings, as I mentioned, the Orioles and the Rays have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Now, either team still can win the AL East division, so one of those teams will be in a wild card spot. One of them will end up winning the division. The Blue Jays are currently 10 games out of that division, so they're not going to take that title. The AL Central is not yet clinched. However, it does look like the Twins will be winning that division, as the Guardians are currently 9 games back of the Twins. As for the AL West, it is completely up for grabs. It's coming down to Houston, Seattle, and Texas that will be battling it out over these final 10 games to see who takes the division. As of right now, the Astros hold a half-game lead above the Mariners and the Rangers. We'll go through each of these teams' remaining 10 games just to see which opponents they're facing, but the series with both teams facing the Mariners are going to be the most crucial to decide who wins the division and potentially gets a wild card spot. As for the National League East, the Braves have clinched the NL East. The Phillies are currently 14 games back in the division. Miami's 18.5, but both of those teams are in the wild card race for the National League. The NL Central is currently still up for grabs. Milwaukee is in the lead. They're 7 games above the Cubs and 8 games above the Reds. Although mathematically there is still a chance for the Cubs or the Reds to jump above the Brewers. Then for the NL West, the Dodgers have clinched the NL West, and the Diamondbacks are currently 13 and a half games out of the division. Now moving to the wild card, this is where everything will get really interesting. So looking at the wild card, the Tampa Bay Rays are currently in that first wild card spot. They are currently 8.5 games above the Mariners and the Rangers. The Toronto Blue Jays currently hold the second wild card spot. They're a game above the Mariners and the Rangers. And then as you can see, the Rangers and the Mariners are both tied for that third wild card spot. They both have the same record, 84 and 68 on the year. If any team ties with another team for their total record, then the tiebreaker would be the series between those two teams. If an additional tiebreaker is needed, then it would be inter-division record or their record within the division. And then thirdly, the record against opponents in the same league but a different division. As of right now, the Rangers have a 5-1 advantage above the Mariners. However, they have 7 games remaining between the two teams, so this could very well flip. The Mariners do have the tiebreaker against the Astros, going 8-2 against them on the year. And they also have the tiebreaker against the Blue Jays. The Yankees are currently 8 games back of that third wildcard spot, and although it is still possible, it's very unlikely that they would be able to jump up in the standings that much. And then Boston is 9.5 games out of the wildcard. Now, we very well may see the Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles flip back and forth depending on how their schedules go the rest of the year. One of those teams will win the division, and whoever wins the division, since they're going to have one of the top 2 records in the AL, whichever team wins that division will get a bye in the first round, so they won't have to play in a wild card series. Also, looking at the AL West, this is why it's so important to see who is going to win the AL West, because likely whoever wins the AL West will have the second best record in the American League as far as AL division leaders. And so if someone wins the AL West and they have the second best record out of the division winners, then that team as well will not have a wild card series that they will have to play in. Whichever division winner has the lowest record out of those 3 teams would have to play in a wild card series, and they would play that final spot of the wild card, whoever that is. As for the National League side of things, it looks like the Braves and the Dodgers are going to both bypass the wildcard series since they'll have the top 2 records out of division winners. However, the National League wildcard race is going to be absolutely insane. We just looked at the American League wildcard race. There's going to be about 4 teams competing in that race, In the National League race, there's potentially like 7 teams that have a shot at making it into a wild card spot depending on how things go. As things currently stand, the Philadelphia Phillies hold that first wild card spot. They're 4 games above the Cubs. The Arizona Diamondbacks are currently in that second spot. They're 1.5 games above the Cubs. And as of today, the Chicago Cubs hold the third wild card spot. The Miami Marlins are just a half game back of the Cubs. The Cincinnati Reds are 1 game back of the Cubs. The San Francisco Giants are 3 games back of the Cubs. And the San Diego Padres are currently 4.5 games back. Now, getting into these teams' remaining schedules, rather than going through each team's remaining schedule specifically, I'll just go to the Tankathon website as this makes things a bit easier. As you recall, the San Francisco Giants are in the NL wildcard race. They have the second toughest remaining strength of schedule. They have 7 games against the Dodgers, 3 games against the Padres. The Toronto Blue Jays, fighting for one of those AL wildcard spots, currently have 6 games left against the Rays, 4 games against the Yankees. The Mariners have a very tough schedule. Their remaining 10 games. They have 3 games against the Houston Astros and again 7 against the Rangers. The Red Sox are essentially out of it, but they face the Orioles 4 times, the Rays twice, and the White Sox 3 times. The Texas Rangers remaining schedule, they have 10 games left. 7 are against the Mariners and 3 are against the Angels. The Chicago Cubs in the NL have 3 games against the Braves, 3 games against the Brewers, 3 against the Rockies, and then 1 against the Pirates. The Marlins have 3 games against the Brewers, 3 against the Pirates, 3 games against the Mets remaining. The Diamondbacks have 9 games remaining. They face 3 against the Astros, 3 against the Yankees, and 3 against the White Sox. The Houston Astros remaining schedule is a bit easier than the Mariners and the Rangers. They have 3 games against the Mariners, 3 against the D-backs, and then 3 against the Royals. The Phillies have 3 games against the Pirates and 7 against the Mets. The Cincinnati Reds have 3 games against the Cardinals, 3 against the Pirates, and then 2 against the Guardians. The Padres have 3 against the Giants, 3 against the White Sox, and 3 against the Cardinals. And then the Minnesota Twins, likely to win the Central. They have the easiest remaining strength of schedule with 3 games against the A's, 3 against the Rockies, and 3 against the Angels. Although I did see that Carlos Correa just went on the injured list today, so we'll see how long he's out for. The Mariners start their series against the Rangers in Texas on Friday, and then they'll be playing their 10 games straight in a row. They have 3 games at the Rangers, and then they'll head home for their series starting against the Astros in Seattle on Monday. So make sure to tune in to as many games as you can during this stretch, as this is going to be as much of a playoff environment as you can get. This is essentially the playoffs to get into the playoffs. But with that, I was in Seattle this past weekend for the series against the Dodgers. Unfortunately, they got swept by the Dodgers, and the Dodgers clinched the NL West on Saturday. But I went out and asked some fans their thoughts on the remaining strength of schedule for the Mariners, their thoughts on the season so far. I also interviewed a couple players, so let's get into that footage. In the final couple weeks of the season, the vibe in the clubhouse, is it kind of just business as usual, or is there an amped, kind of vibe in there?
Oh, it's business as usual. We still got the regular season. Still looking forward to what we're doing right in front of us, and that's all we're looking forward to.
You're a big football guy. Who are your football teams, college and professional?
Hometown, so it's the Huskies and Seahawks.
You guys have a fantasy football league going on in the clubhouse?
Oh, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty competitive.
Yeah? Who's your quarterback? Besides yourself?
It was Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Right now I got Anthony Richardson and Jared Goff, so see how that situation plays out.
How did that get hit so well? Oppo.
In 162 games, it's usually just business as usual, but you're definitely excited to play September games that matter.
Are you a football guy at all?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the sport.
Who's your college team and NFL teams?
I would say I'm more of a fan of the sport itself. I don't really pick favorites like teams like that. Just a good quality football game, college or pro would be great.
I saw an interview where you guys were talking about the cereals that you like. A common answer was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Have you tried Cinnamon Toast Crunch seeds before?
No, they have those?
You want to try some?
Sure.
Yeah. This is the first.
I have had that brand.
This is the first time that I've heard of this too.
Cinnamon toast. Actually, cinnamon toast. Is it sweet?
It's pretty good. It's sweet, but like it's good stuff.
It does taste like cinnamon toast.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday's games were sold out, and there was honestly probably 60% Dodgers fans. As I mentioned, they did clinch the division on Saturday, so that definitely had something to do with it. But if you haven't been to T-Mobile Park in Seattle, definitely go check out the bullpen pregame. You're able to get right behind the catcher when they're warming up. And I've recorded a bullpen for most of the Mariners guys, so go check it out on my channel as well. All right, so we're here in Seattle, Dodgers fan. So are you a local Dodgers fan, or did you travel from out of town?
From out of where?
From out of town.
Out of what?
Out of town.
Where? Out of town. Oh, yeah. I'm from Portland.
You're from Portland?
Well, I live in Portland.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vancouver, actually, just north of Vancouver.
Like Washington?
Yeah.
Or Canada?
Washington.
Canada.
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
You got it.
I mean, the spot I decided to go interview fans in is called the Beer Garden, so... What do you think about the, so many Dodgers fans showing up to the game?
Well,
It's almost like a home game.
I was a Dodger fan. Shut up. I was talking to you. We're not a fan base. We're kind of like the Raiders.
I was a Dodger fan.
So you're a converted Dodgers fan.
We're cousins. Seriously, if we know anything about Dodgers fans, it's that they're way too full of themselves. But also, if we know anything about Mariners fans, it's that we fail. It's always a disappointment.
What do you think about the last few weeks of the season before playoffs?
Oh, well, the Dodgers are going to just ride it out and be okay.
Yeah, they will.
But
what about the Mariners? The
Mariners got to win.
I mean, the Mariners being in first any time is just like...
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine playing like your rivals the entire last week.
I know.
Like
the Astros and the Rangers.
It's like insane. Good for them. I'm glad they're playing great. Look at the stadium; it's packed.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There really is a microphone in the end of your bat.
Oh yeah, right there. Oh, Dodgers fan.
Yeah,
Are
always.
you a local fan, or did you travel from out of town?
I live in Spokane.
Okay, cool.
So just cross state.
Okay. How did you become a Dodgers fan?
I was born in Santa Barbara and grew up going to Dodger games.
Cool.
Yeah.
With it being such, I mean, it's basically a home game for you guys.
I know.
What do you think about that?
I think it's well. I mean, the Dodger fans always travel well, right?
Look at the jerseys throughout the
Dude,
stadium.
yeah. Dodger fans always travel well. Everywhere you go, you'll hear a "Let's Go Dodgers" chant. But the stadium here is so amazing. It's so high energy that it gets mixed up here with the "Let's Go Mariners" chants. But you can't mix up the Mookies and the Freddie.
You know what?
Like
That's
it's
fine.
awesome. Like the Dodgers never really have an away game, but like Safeco gives them a run for their money.
How about from a Mariners fan perspective? What about the Dodgers fans?
So many Dodgers fans here?
Yeah.
I look at it as bring it on.
Yeah.
We'll be louder than you. It's no problem. I got you beat on voice. No problem.
You got
Bring
the
it.
show.
Bring it.
Got
I
the
do.
show.
I got the diaphragm, good sir. Bring it. Okay. Yeah.
And then last couple weeks of the season, what do you guys think of your guys' season so far? The Dodgers and the Mariners, and
Take it. Go.
We were doing a lot better before the last week, and then. Come on, man. Like, I just hope we bring it back. Like, I legitimately hope we bring it back. But we'll see.
last 10 games are against the Rangers and the Astros. So
Oh, gosh, that's our season. That's our season, right? That's our season.
It's going to be good, yeah.
Dodgers are in town. What are you guys' thoughts of all the fans being packed in here and just the series?
I hate them. I hate it.
Why do you hate them?
I don't know. They're not Mariners.
Yeah.
I hate that they're trying to take over our space.
I'm trying to stand on the ledge up here.
Yeah.
A Dodgers fan walks up thinking they're entitled.
like the fantasy GM since you're the couch GM?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's great. I think it's great for the game of baseball.
You think
I really do.
I
think it's great.
Yeah, thanks.
Pack in here for a nice friendly competition tonight.
my bad.
It's not, maybe not so friendly, but some good competition.
The Astros lost to another trash
franchise tonight, so we got a huge opportunity to gain another game, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge opportunity.
What do you guys think about the Mariners season so far in general, and then the big 2 weeks coming up here?
I hate the Mariners, but I love the Mariners.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're pretty up and down here and there. They're streaky.
Yeah.
But we need to close out the season strong here.
4 series left. Let's get at it.
Some tough series, and we need to show out.
The first half of the season was tough, too. We kept going above 500, below, and that little run gave me a little bit of hope. And so it'll be fun with all these division opponents in the last few weeks. So looking forward to it for sure.
What were you gonna say?
I can't remember.
At the very beginning.
Screw the Dodgers.
There we go.
The Dodgers.
Anthony's Painting LLC.
What do you guys think about all the Dodgers fans coming to Seattle and knocking this place out?
Let's send them home sad. Let's send them home sad. That'll be good when we win 6-2 today.
As long as we get ahead early in the count, we have good at-bats, clutch at-bats, I feel like we'll be able to get Kershaw out of here early and then get into their deep bullpen. I think we'll be okay.
Hell yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
Here goes the stuff. What do you guys think about the Mariners season so far? And
We started off slow. I'll give us that. I like getting rid of Wong and getting rid of Seawald. A lot of people are indecisive about getting rid of Seawald.
That's a good trade.
Good. I like the trade, in my opinion. But once we got Rojas and we got Caballero in the lineup, we started to put together at-bats and put together innings. That's when we started to score more runs and get ahead in the game. We're an 8th inning ball club. We're a 2-out ball club. We're a clutch team. Come on.
yeah, let's go, man. How many games have you guys been to this year?
This is my first one.
Is that third together?
This will be my 5th 3 together with him.
Yeah,
So,
awesome. This is my
We
first
all live on the west side.
Okay, first one. What do you think so far? It's badass. Yeah.
The environment this
It's
year
a
has
good
been
time
pretty
up here,
electric.
yeah. And
The
I heard
vibe
it's sold out.
has
It's
been
gonna be
high
sold out
every
today,
time.
tomorrow, probably the rest of the year.
A lot of Dodgers fans, though. A
Can't
lot
ask
of
for
Dodgers.
more than a sold-out
Yeah,
crowd.
you can't beat this.
Home team against the Dodgers, who's a playoff team.
Yeah.
It's going to be electric.
Seattle fans, they never disappoint.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. I appreciate it. A big thank you to everyone that I talked to at the game. And if you'd like more content like this, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And hey, I just might be doing the same thing during the playoffs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.